Welcome to our video on the new functions in our HDR program. This is professional version 10. There are a whole load of the new things to discover, and I now want to give you a quick overview of where you can find all these new features. Some of them are explained in other videos, so we'll only talk about them briefly here. Let's just take a quick look at what's new. Those of you who are already familiar with our HDR program will see a lot of the usual things here on the interface. However, there are a whole load of changes under the hood and even on the interface itself. Let's start on the left. Here you can find your presets in their different categories as usual. These presets have all been fully redesigned. Why have they been redesigned? Because we've integrated a new tone mapping system for the HDR Fusion tonal value compression, and this tone mapping system, let's switch to expert mode up here briefly, contains 4 new tone mappings that have been created with AI, with neural networks, which enable and calculate excellent tonal value compression. Because we have this new tone mapping system, we've also had to completely revise all the presets, and the looks are now much better and much more visually appealing. As you may have already seen, in the top right here, you can see the interface for the finalize and expert areas has been redesigned. There's now a modular interface with a toolbar system here. This side here is a plus button that opens everything, and a minus button here that hides everything. The calculations are performed anyway, but you can now put the interface elements together in whatever way you like. For instance, I'm now going to add the selective drawing feature here, the new LUT module and the new AI filter module. It just gives me a lot of flexibility to arrange my interface. I'll also turn on the magnifying glass. You can open and close that if you want to see the comparison view. You can set up your own custom interface, and of course you can change it at any time. Your interface is also saved when you close the program, and it opens up in the exact same way the next time. That gives you a much better overview of the functions, because as you can see, there are a lot of modules in here and they have to be visually arranged in a way that makes sense. What else is new in selective drawing? You guessed it, I didn't open these modules by accident. A lot's changed in selective drawing. There's a new 3D module and an integrated coloring module. We'll see that in another video. We've added the LUT module so you can use LUT styles. I'll select one here. As you can see, these LUT styles that you've created with our LUT program and saved in the database are now recognized by HDR10 automatically and displayed here. They can be used and configured as you like with the usual intensity functions. Let's reset that. The next highlight is the AI filter module. Its database has a similar structure to the LUT module. We've also introduced a new program called AI Filter, which you can use to create your own AI filters, to train your own neural networks with images in order to achieve certain image effects. You can then save them in a database that is automatically recognized by HDR10, and the filters are then available there. Now let's go to the contrast optimizer from AI Filter. You can see the image immediately, becomes a lot more intense and better. This module is new too. We have a whole load of new enhancements in expert mode. Let's switch to that for a moment. We can customize this area too. I briefly showed you the list of new tone mappings, the 4 AI tone mappings. There's also a new category that's activated by default. Then in expert mode, we have a new AI category here in the filters themselves. We have the general AI filters that work with any motif, and then we have the special AI filters for landscape motifs. For instance, we can select the winter colors here. Then the AI filter converts the image into winter colors. That looks pretty impressive. I've just done that with one double click. And you can see that the list of filters up here isn't activated yet. Let's turn it on. But the calculation's performed anyway. This only relates to the display in the interface, and if I add the parameters Then, of course, you can also control the intensity in the AI filter and change the brightness, color, contrast, things like that. Let's switch this off again and go back to the finalize area. We've made quite a lot of improvements in the raw module. There's another video on that as well. That video also deals with the new AI section and other things. And in HDR Fusion, we also now have AI Fusion, of course. Artificial intelligence is on the rise. It's likely to take over many of these tasks in the future. Not everywhere. There'll always be a place for good and solid image editing, but it's going to affect a lot of things. You might like to check out our in-depth videos on the 3D module in selective drawing and the AI section in the raw module. I hope you found that helpful, and see you next time.